Good morning. It is 8:58 a.m. on Sunday, July 11th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm a little spacey right now because I stayed up super late but then did not allow myself to sleep in as late as I might have otherwise wanted because I need to start getting my sleep schedule nudged back more towards the normal direction. But, the staying up super late part doesn't help. The reason I stayed up super late, though, is because I was playing a video game slash visual novel called The House in Fata Morgana, which I believe I've mentioned once or twice before on these videos. Once again, a visual novel, if you're not familiar, is, video game format, but mostly what you're just watching is, you're watching text like a novel play out with sound and music and visuals, but often the visuals are, like will be just like a still image or sort of a 2D cutout of a character where small details will change with their facial expression and so on. But so it's not a lot of really dramatic visuals, but mostly it's focused on the story. And House in Fata Morgana is a visual novel where the high level would be to say it is a tale of gothic horror and epic romance set within a cursed mansion over the course of almost a millennia. And here's the thing, it's very good. It's also very long. And one of the things that I do find just as a format with visual novels is that they, unlike when you're holding a regular book, you can't tell with a visual novel how far along you are. Like, how much more is there? And so when it starts feeling like you're close to the end, you don't want to stop now because you're almost at the end. But then it kind of keeps going, keeps going, and keeps going. And you don't want to stop because you're engrossed, but then you're staying up super late. However, I did stay up late enough to get to the, true ending of this particular visual novel. And here's the thing, like, it's very good. What I will say is that, especially anyone who I'm recommending this to, I want you to know, first of all, it starts pretty slow. I found that the parts that I enjoyed the least were the beginning. Not, and I have to say, like, in the first several hours of it, probably if I hadn't had it so strongly recommended to me, I might not have continued past that part. Not that it was bad, but just like it's very talky. It takes a long time to get where it's going in some places, and but what I'm kind of fascinated by now, having listened, watched the whole story, is that it really, in a very impressive way, it's a little bit like saying when you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and this jigsaw puzzle is of a picture that has a lot of sky in it. And so there's going to be a lot of that puzzle that's just more and more blue pieces, and none of those blue pieces are necessarily all that exciting in individual basis. But then once you've got them all in place, it's this glorious blue sky, and any one of those pieces, if it were missing, would disrupt the overall pattern. And so I think that that's an apt comparison for this, because there's lots of these little details that don't necessarily feel important. And you're like, why are we spending time on this? But then it turns out it is actually relevant later, and all of these little threads do actually intertwine in a meaningful way. And so it's kind of that, it sort of, even some of the slower parts that aren't as interesting early on end up becoming woven back in and redeemed through later events. And I mean, I stayed up till 2 a.m. playing it. Not, like that's not, you don't do that with something you're not enjoying, right? Um, so uh, it's very good. Um, certainly content warning that it is somewhat of a horror story. It's kind of very much in the gothic horror vein. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really liked it. So there you have it. I'm going to leave it there for right now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.